Okay, welcome to my review of Flowers of Evil episode 12. Awesome episode. Basically, what happened in this one, you have got Kasuga, he writes, you remember the essay that, what was it, episode 2? Or 3? So, right at the start of the series, Nakamura said to Kasuga, write me an essay on your feelings. Well, in episode 12, he finally gets around to writing the essay. He writes the essay and he proceeds to go and show it to, Nakamura. Nakamura's not having any of it. He tries to come up to her in the street and says, look, here's the essay. Look, here it is, here's the essay. And he's running after her. She's running away and he's running, chasing her, like reading this essay to her. And as he goes to cross a junction, a car comes, almost hits him, and he almost hits him, and he says, oh, you're doing, get out of the way, and all this. So he sort of failed to read it to Nakamura. So then he decides, what he says he's going to do is, he says, well, what I'll do is I'll go to her house and I'll post it in the letterbox. I'll put it in the letterbox. So he goes to Nakamura's house. And while he's in the process of putting it in the letterbox, Nakamura's dad turns up and he's like, what are you trying to sell? Which I thought was quite funny. He's like, what are you trying to sell? And he's like, oh, he says, I'm sorry for, causing all that stuff when we went up the mountain road and all this. I'm sorry about that. And he says, it's okay. Come in. So they come in. He goes in and he starts to talk to Nakamura's dad about Nakamura. And he's like, Nakamura's dad's like, well, what do you think of, he calls her Sour, because that's her main name. He said, what do you think of Sour? And he's like, well, I don't really understand her. And the dad's like, well, I don't get her, and he's saying, oh, I don't get her either, she uses all these, swearing words and things, and it's all this. And he says, would you like to stay for dinner? And Kasuga's like, well, I don't know if I should. And he's like, well, Sawa will be home soon. Nakamura, why don't you stay? He's like, oh, okay. He says, and Nakamura's dad's like, I'll call your house and tell them where you are. So while Nakamura's dad's out in the room on the phone, he says there's some old woman that's there who is Nakamura's grandmother. And Kasuga's like, can I use the toilet? And she's like, yeah. So he goes off to use the toilet, and while he's on his way to the toilet, he notices the door to Nakamura's bedroom. And written on the door in big letters is the words, keep out, I think it's something like keep out shit faces, or something like that. Depends on what subs you watch. Some say different things, but the one I saw said keep out shit faces. So obviously that intrigues Kasuga, and he's like, well, what does it mean, keep out? So he goes to open the door to the room, and just as he's literally about to walk into the room, the episode ends. It's epic cliffhanger. And the final episode, wow, Jesus Christ. I'll get to the review of the final episode straight after this. But my God, episode 12 of Flowers of Evil, awesome episode. Awesome episode. Episode 13, I will tell you right now, just before I get to the review, shit goes down.